What up, people? It's Arsenal Eagle Eye here in effect for you guys. Um, Thank you for joining me on my first live broadcast, Google broadcast, whatever this fucking thing is, since YouTube changed it. um, I guess this is just a chance for me to put my own voice out there. You know, I have real hard-faced opinions when it comes to Arsenal. I think, quite frankly, I just drive my mates nuts with it. So I figured the best way to kind of get my voice out there was through this medium. I see lots of people doing podcast shows out there, and I'm a fan of all of them. So everything from the Guna Talk um, from Guna Talk to Guna Ramble to Camp Wonderland. I'm massive fans of all of them. All you guys should check it out if you're not already doing so. Big subscriber and commenter of Arsenal Fan TV, and as someone who's just a massive Gooner. You know, I'm 31 years old, been a Gooner all my life. Blame my mum for it, quite frankly, all my suffering and pain. And I'm a North Londoner, you know. Live in North London, always have done. Damn sure weren't going to support the scum down the road. So, Arsenal happened to play in my favourite colour, in red. So it was always going to be Arsenal. For me, I just wanted to talk about Arsene Wenger. Arsene Wenger, I've always been quite anti Piers Morgan. For those of you guys who follow him on Twitter, he was probably one of the very first people who was on the Wenger out brigade. And it was always something where I didn't understand it. I always had this massive granddad-like attitude towards Arsene Wenger, you know? Kind of like someone who you knew was past it, who you knew, almost like that old senile granddad that you know is crazy as fuck. But as soon as somebody attacks your granddad, you're like, whoa, you don't call my granddad crazy. I know he's fucking crazy, but you don't call him crazy. And that's always the sort of attitude I had with Wenger. You know, I felt like someone who had the amazing success that he's had, albeit a long time ago. I felt like he deserved more than being hounded out of a club. And it's an attitude that part of me still retains. You know, that for me, I was with my mate when he said, and I couldn't have agreed more, that the perfect time to have gone was after that first FA Cup win. Most recently, that is. When he won the FA Cup the season before last, that would have been the perfect way to say, all right, there's your team, give the reins to someone else, and let them build upon fantastic foundation that's already there. And he signed a contract. And normally I was always really excited when Wenger would sign a new contract. I was always really happy, really relieved, because you used to constantly get Wenger being linked to Real Madrid and PSG, and I thought, well, fucking hands off our manager. You know, you could take away players from us, but you can't take away our manager. But I remember feeling really deflated and really disappointed that he signed that contract. And I thought, wow, that's a real shift in my own character, my own beliefs, because I knew what the fuck would happen. You know, I mean, there's guarantees in life, you know, death, taxes, and Arsenal falling away in February. And that is exactly what has happened. You know, yes, again, we're fucking up in February. Fuck up February is what they call it. Call it for a reason. We are so notorious for fucking up in February. And now, at the point of what the fuck are we going to do now? You know, we're down there out against in a tie against Barca. But the Barca thing didn't really bother me too much because I kind of had an attitude of, well, what did people realistically think was going to happen against Barca? So I wasn't really too bothered by it. But today, I just felt so angry just watching us suffering the way we did, watching us falling apart the way we did. I was just so angry. I thought, well, how can this be my team? How can Arsenal Football Club be falling away the way they have done? I feel like, for me, the only way I can compare it to is, I probably shouldn't say this, particularly it being my first broadcast. There should be maybe some time um, for me to at least build up some sort of rapport with you guys, some sort of respect with you guys. Um, but I'll tell you anyway. I'll be honest. I'm a massive closet wrestling fan. I know. Commence laughter. I know. Pathetic. I know. It's something. For me, though, I like to pride myself in being a smart wrestling fan. So someone who's a bit more knowledgeable, you know. So before I get a lot of jokes of, wrestling is fake, right? I know, I get that. Do you get it? Um, but, for me, what has this got to do with Arsenal? I'll make the link. So, wrestling, I don't think there's many people who don't already know this, whether you're a wrestling fan or not. WWE is the biggest show in town. And in terms of the owner of WWE, Vincent McMahon, still in 2016 was the chairman and HNIC of the WWE. Um, he's a man who has an attitude of, he doesn't pay attention to things like feedback or media or criticism of any type, uh, Twitter opinion, polls, things like that. He has an attitude, and he's actually said it before. It's a quotable thing from him, where he's come out and said, "Don't you're not going to tell me what you like. I'm going to tell you what you like." He really believes that the public don't know what they like, so he has an attitude of, well, every wrestler should be huge and large and be limited in a ring, but it doesn't matter because as long as they look good, then the rest takes care of itself. It's an attitude that worked in 1980, in the 1980s, when you had people like Hulk Hogan and that. Not so much these days. These days people are a little bit more, they want a little bit more ring craft. And I think sometimes there is too much emphasis to that kind of attitude of, or everything must be high flying and everything must be a bit, luchadorish. And I think there is too much emphasis from the internet fans when it comes to that. What ideally you would have is somewhere in between the two. But Vince is so far hard that way that trying to get him closer to the middle is the most difficult thing in the world. He's stubborn, he's steadfast, and he has one lane, one way of thinking, and is determined to go in that route. And he wonders why things like ratings dwindle. He wonders why there's so much criticism, so much social media outrage whenever something that the audience perceives to be bad, he perceives it to be, oh, well, it's internet fans, they're all nerds anyway, what do they know? What the fuck does this have to do with Arsene Wenger? Well, he's the same person, just in a different sport. Someone who's also an old man, way past their time. Someone who had that winning formula in 1996. Hell, had that winning formula in 2004, but that shit don't work in 2016. Where, whether you like it or not, and don't get me wrong, many fans hate the idea of it, but football is all about money. It always has been and always will be about money, especially these days. Whether it's anything from ticket prices to uh, what TV companies are going to pay you, to wages, to how much it would cost to improve a stadium, buy a stadium, move from stadium to stadium. Everything is fronted by money. But Wenger don't understand that unless it's in his own back pocket, and that is the perception that people have, because the man, for all of his tightness, is paid 8.5 million per year. On top of all of that, us Arsenal fans pay the highest ticket prices in the world, and we get nothing. Nothing. I mean, that is literally the equivalent of going to a travel agent, paying the most you possibly can for a business class holiday, and being told to get the minibus to your destination. That is what we're given every single year. Every single year, we're sold the dream. We could compete with your Man Cities, your Chelseas, and every single year, when we inevitably fail, we're told, oh, well, Man City are spending in a different market. Our Chelsea's are buying players in a different market. How United are buying players in a different market. Here's the thing. This season, the weird season, we're behind Tottenham and Leicester City. Oh yeah, the same Leicester City who the season before was fighting relegation. They're top of the damn league. A Tottenham team who every season we successfully finish above them. But the one time it means something, we're set to not. For me, this is difficult, but I guess appropriate, it being my first broadcast. For me, if Leicester and Tottenham finish above us, Wenger's position becomes untenable. Why? What's his excuse? You can't tell me that Leicester are the team who spent money, because they haven't. Not really. They've just been clever in the way they bought players. You can't tell me that Tottenham has spent money on players, because they didn't. They really didn't. So what is exactly going to be Arsene Wenger's excuse when we inevitably fuck up once again? Now, as I record this, we've got a game against Swansea City at home on Wednesday that I'm not even in. But let's just say we fluke something. Then we've got to go to Tottenham. How in the fuck are we going to go to Tottenham and get something from Tottenham? How? For me, I'm sorry. And it pains me, because I've never really been a Wenger in person since probably about 2010, but I've never been all the way Wenger out. I've kind of had that Wenger, I've kind of had that seat on the fence. But everybody's right. It's time for the old man to step aside. He can't do it. And for me, when he inevitably fails again, he needs to just take his stuff and please just go. I don't want him handed out. Just go. Go. Because even if we have a season like United and finish 7th, if that leads us to eventually appointing the right person? I think we need to. Because if we continue repeating, the sign of madness is repeating the same mistake over and over and over and over again and expecting a different result. And every single year, we repeat the same stupid mistake after mistake after mistake, expecting a different result. Maybe it's time to flip the script. And if in flipping the script, we appoint the wrong person in order to get to the right person, I'm prepared to take that risk as an Arsenal fan. So when somebody finds this video a year later and maybe Wenger has stepped away and someone else has come on board and said, oh, well, Gunnar, you told us it would be a good thing that Wenger steps away. I mean it. I still say it. We must change something. We must. Because this, for me, is unacceptable. As an Arsenal fan, this is unacceptable. Because I strongly believe that if we don't beat Tottenham next week, Saturday, Wenger will never deliver us another title. Anyway, that's my bitching and moaning done. Well, I'm going to leave you guys to it. Please do comment, subscribe. It's a really brand new channel. Leave me your comments below, and hopefully I'll start to improve little bits and bobs about this channel and get going a little bit. So take care for now. Peace.